Putin faces fallout from mutiny in Russia, which leads to the deaths of 4,430 service members. The political fallout from last weekend's brief Wagner Group rebellion, which Putin narrowly avoided, is still being dealt with. Meanwhile, his military keeps losing men and women in Ukraine. After claiming Russia's military had killed 30 of his troops in a missile strike last Friday, Wagner leader and founder Yevgeny Prigozhin ordered his remaining troops to march on Moscow. The revolt, however, was put down the day after it began when Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko brokered a ceasefire. Despite the swift resolution, critics of Putin's leadership in the Kremlin have pointed to the incident as evidence of the president's incompetence. The Russian leader reportedly removed high-ranking generals from their positions for failing to effectively put down the Mercy uprising. Putin's military continues to suffer casualties as it counterattacks the Russian invasion of Ukraine amidst the unrest. The General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces reported on Friday that 4,430 Russian soldiers have been killed in action since the Wagner revolt began. Putin acknowledged that Wagner forces killed around a dozen Russian troops during the rebellion last week, but he did not provide a precise death toll. Earlier this week, when he was honoring troops and security forces for helping to prevent a civil war, he took a moment of silence to remember the pilots killed by the private military company. Ukrainian authorities claimed Wagner forces had destroyed 6 Russian helicopters and a plane during the revolt, despite the Kremlin's silence on the fate of these pilots. According to various media reports, between 12 and 15 Russians have perished in these incidents. The Kremlin has been accused of underreporting its losses whenever it does comment on the topic. Newsweek has not confirmed Ukraine's official statistics. The General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces keeps track of both the number of soldiers killed in action and the quantity of Russian military hardware that has been destroyed. Ukraine claims it has lost 4,041 tanks since Russia's invasion began. Meanwhile, during Prigozhin's brief attack on June 23, 17 of these tanks were destroyed. Additionally, Moscow has lost 7,863 armored fighting vehicles, including 59 just this past week. Additional weekly losses include 54 vehicles and fuel tanks, for a total of 6,785, 202 artillery systems, 4,127, 11 multiple launch rocket systems, for a total of 630, 6 air defense systems, 389, 1 airplane, 315, and 59 drones, 3,519. According to estimates made by the Ukrainian government, Russia has lost a total of 308 helicopters and 18 boats throughout the course of the conflict. Since last Friday, those numbers haven't changed. Newsweek emailed the Russian Foreign Ministry for a response. On June 27 in Moscow, you can see the Russian military and spies who stopped the Wagner Group invasion. The political fallout from last weekend's brief Wagner Group rebellion, which Putin narrowly avoided, is still being dealt with.